Let's be honest for a second, are you tired? I don't just mean end of the day tired. I mean politically, emotionally, spiritually exhausted. It feels like for the last few years, we've been forced to live inside someone else's screaming match. Every time you turn on the news, it's a battle between two extremes that don't look anything like your actual life, your family, or your community. You're stuck in the middle, feeling politically homeless, just wishing everyone would turn the volume down and start making sense. If you've ever felt that way, you're not alone. Bill Maher just grabbed a megaphone and shouted that exact feeling for the entire world to hear. In a must-see interview on CNN's Fareed Zakaria GPS this past Sunday, the real-time host didn't mince words. He looked right at the camera and asked the billion-dollar question that has been burning a hole in the hearts of millions of Americans. Why can't either one of them be normal? That one sentence hits hard. It's not a policy debate. It's an emotional plea. Maher, who has made a career out of skewering both sides with equal opportunity venom, is tapping into that deep, simmering frustration we all feel. He's not seeing a healthy political debate. He's seeing a total breakdown of common sense. He used a brilliant and painful metaphor to describe the state of our politics. It made me think, we just had the World Series, and there was an 18-innings game, and for the last 9 innings, one whole game, neither side could score. They couldn't get it done. And that's what this reminds me of. Ouch, he's right, isn't he? It feels like we're stuck in extra innings forever. Both teams are just striking out, fumbling the ball, and refusing to just get a hit. They're playing to the cheap seats, trying to get a reaction from their base, while completely forgetting how to actually win the game for the country. And Maher says it would be so easy for either side to win, if only they'd stop the madness. The Republican fumble, when fixing things becomes excess. First, Maher turned his sights on the GOP and President Donald Trump. And this is where it gets interesting, because he didn't just throw rocks. He actually validated the feelings that got Trump elected in the first place. He said Trump wasn't wrong about many of the core issues he raised, the very issues that millions of people felt were being ignored. He wasn't wrong about the border, about NATO needing to pay more, about certain trade policies that needed to be fixed, colleges being out of control. DDI went too far. That's a huge admission. It's Maher acknowledging that the frustration with the establishment was, and is, real. People weren't crazy for worrying about these things. They were just looking for someone, anyone, to finally say, yes, this is a problem. But then, Maher diagnosed the tragedy. He pointed out exactly where it all went wrong. He just goes too far with everyone until he actually lost his constituencies. It's the story of a missed opportunity. It's like having a winning hand and throwing the cards in the air just to see them scatter. For Maher, Trump just couldn't help himself. He couldn't take the win. He had to push it into the red zone of, well, weirdness. People don't like to see people tackled at Home Depot, Maher said, referencing the kind of chaotic energy that turned off the average suburban voter. He's saying that Trump had the normal people on his side. He had the folks who just wanted a secure border and fair trade. But he lost them when fixing things turned into what Maher calls excesses, the non-stop rallies, the personal attacks, the feeling that the country was lurching from one crisis to the next. It's a story of self-sabotage. The Republicans, in Maher's view, had a clear path to victory by just being the party of common-sense fixes, but they couldn't resist the macho bull. The Democratic fumble, when progress scares everyone away. But if you think Maher was just there to bash the right, you haven't been paying attention. He turned right around and aimed his fire at the Democrats, pointing out their own spectacular 18-inning fumble. His target? The rise of the far left or Democratic Socialists. This is the other side of the not normal coin. While the right is lost in excess, Maher warns that the left is getting lost in an academic, ideological bubble that is completely alien to most of the country. He pointed to the recent elections of Zoran Mamdani in New York City and Katie Wilson in Seattle, who unseated a more centrist Democrat. They just elected a socialist, some would say communist, mayor in New York City, and I see now Seattle. They're calling her Mamdani West, he said. His concern is that the party is being hijacked by its loudest, most extreme wing, and he's worried it's a long-term disaster for the Democrats. If we wind up with a situation where very blue cities all around the country have socialist leadership, but that's not where the country is in general, That's not good for the Democratic Party, he stated. This is the part that so many normal Democrats feel in their bones. They believe in helping people, in a strong social safety net, in equality, but they don't believe in the radical, tear-it-all-down rhetoric they're hearing from the fringes of their own party. Maher summed up this feeling perfectly on his own show, Real Time, with a line that is devastatingly accurate. Democratic socialism is like a dating profile. Things look great until you meet up in the real world. That's it, isn't it? The profile looks amazing. It promises fairness, justice, and compassion. But when you get to the real-world date, you're suddenly faced with impractical policies, skyrocketing costs, and a complete misunderstanding of how everyday people live and work. Where does that leave us? This is the heart of Maher's message. He's not just a comedian making jokes. He's a guy on a park bench, looking at the two warring teams on the field, and asking why no one wants to play for the people in the stands. He's asking for a moderate party. He's asking for sanity. We've had enough of Trump's macho bull, and also enough of politics, he finished. That last part, enough of politics. That's the cry of the exhausted majority. We're tired of everything being political. Our coffee, our sports, our grocery stores, our schools. We are desperate for a break. We are desperate for leaders who want to govern, not just fight. Bill Maher just gave a voice to every single person who feels stuck in the middle. We're the 18-inning game crowd, just sitting in the stands, waiting for someone to please, for the love of God, just score a run and let us all go home. What do you think? Is he right? Are you as tired of the not normal as he is? Let us know in the comments, because this is a conversation we need to be having.